Okay, today we're going to be completing the square, and the reason why we complete the square is for us to get perfect squares. Okay, and we've done perfect square trinomials before, so this shouldn't be something new to you. Perfect square trinomials means that this is going to end up looking like something like this. Okay, that means you're going to have the same number twice. So I need two numbers that multiply and give me 16 and add to give me 8. Those are pretty simple, but you can also type them on here just to figure it out. Okay, it's 4 and 4. That's what perfect square trinomials do. They give you the same number twice. Te dan el mismo número dos veces. So all of them are going to be the same thing. So this one's going to be x plus 4 times x plus 4. So x plus 4 squared. This one, two numbers that multiply and give you 1 and add to give you 2. Same thing. It's going to be the same number. So I know that the two numbers that multiply and give me 1 is 1. But you can check them on here by putting 1 and 2. So again, it's 1 and 1. Te va a dar lo mismo. So this is x plus 1 squared. These two are going to be minuses because I need two numbers that add and give me a negative 18. So when you put it in decimals, it's 81 and negative 18. 81 and negative 18. So my two numbers are going to be negatives. Negative 9, negative 9. So it's x minus 9. And then the same thing with this one. You're going to type 25 and negative 10. Two numbers that multiply and give you 25. And two numbers that add and give you negative 10. It's going to be the same numbers, los mismos números, negative 5 and negative 5. That's why they're called perfect square trinomials. Okay? So if we use what we just learned, perfect square trinomials, and try to solve these, okay, these four, we're going to solve them by using perfect square trinomials. So if I factor this side, okay, it's going to give me a perfect square trinomial. So it's going to be square like that. Two numbers that multiply and give me 4 and add to give me 4. Okay, if you put it in decimals, 4 and 4. And some of you already know this. It's a positive 2 and a positive 2. So right here, I would put x plus 2 squared equals 25. Well, what did we learn yesterday? Yesterday, we did square roots. So if I take the square root of this side and the square root of this side, okay, the square is going to go away. So now I just have x plus 2 equals the square root of 25 is square root of 25 is 5. Okay, the square root of 25 gives you 5. So we're going to write it right here. But it's a plus or a minus 5. If you remember when we take square roots, it gives you a positive or a negative 5. So when you have that, then one of them is going to be positive, one's going to be negative. So x plus 2 equals 5. And x plus 2 equals a negative 5. Uno es positivo, uno es negativo, because we took the square root. Okay, so then we just solve. Move the 2 over, change the sign, minus 2. What's 5 minus 2? 5 menos 2? 3. X equals 3. Over here, move the 2, change the sign. Minus 2. What's negative 5 minus 2? Negative 7. X equals negative 7. Okay? But we can check this in decimals. Okay? So we're going to check this using decimals. You're going to type the whole equation. Problem number 1. X squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 25. One answer is negative 7. The other answer is positive 3. Son las respuestas. Negative 7, positive 3, check, positive 3, negative 7. Okay? I want you to pause and do problem 2. Pause and do problem 2. Okay, so you should have time. You should have paused the video. You should have had some time to at least try to work this out by yourself without my help, or at least put it in decimals and see what you get, and then see if we get the same answer. This is a perfect square. Two numbers that multiply and give me 36 and add to give me a negative 12 is negative 6 and negative 6 equals 81. Then you were supposed to take the square root of both sides so that this square cancels out. So you end up with x minus 6. Se quita eso. Equals, the square root of 81 is 9. Right? When you move this over, it becomes a plus. Oh, this is plus or minus. Plus or minus. So this becomes a plus, so you have x equals 6 plus or minus 9. So you have two problems, two answers. One, 6 plus 9. ¿Qué es 6 plus 9? 6 más 9. 15. So x equals 15 is one of your answers. And then 6 minus 9, 6 menos 9, negative 3. X equals negative 3. Those are your two answers. Okay? One is 6 plus 9 and one is 6 minus 9. Son las dos respuestas. So then we check it in decimals again and see if it gave you the same answer. So right here would be negative 12. And right here would be positive 36. And right here we have positive 81. So one of the answers is negative 3. The other answer is positive 15. Okay? That's how you check it. So I want you to do the next two problems, 3 and 4. And then in a little bit, I'm going to show you how to do this one. Okay? So you are doing problem 3 and problem 4 right now. Pause the video. Okay. You should have finished number 3 and number 4. I'm going to start on the bottom one when they are not perfect squares. So like this one. This is not a perfect square trinomial. So we're going to have to complete the square. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to complete the square. First of all, we need to rewrite it as x squared plus bx equals c. That means I need to move the 7 to the other side and change the sign. So it becomes a negative 7. Okay, move it over, change the sign. X squared plus 8x equals negative 7. Okay, step number 2. Take half of b and square it. Toma la mitad del 8 y toma el cuadrado. So half of 8 is 4. Right? What's 4 squared? What's 4 squared? 16. So I'm going to add 16 to both sides. Okay? Tomé la mitad de 8, te dio 4. El cuadrado de 4 es 16. Entonces voy a agregarle 6 a los dos lados. So now I have x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals negative 7 plus 16. You add it to both sides. Okay? Why? Because now this is a perfect square. Este es un perfect square. So it's two numbers that multiply and give you 16 and add to give you 8 is 4 and 4. That number right there. So x plus 4 square equals, what's this? What's negative 7 plus 16? 9. Negative 7 plus 16 is 9. And now we can finish it. So square root, square root. The square goes away, so now you have x plus 4 equals, the square root of 9 is 3 plus or minus 3, right? Then you're going to move the 4 over and change the sign. So you have two things. You have x equals negative 4 plus or minus 3. Negative 4 plus or minus 3. So the first one, what's negative 4 plus 3? Negative 4 plus 3. Calculator. Negative 4 plus 3. Negative 1. X equals negative 1 is one of your answers. And what's negative 4 minus 3? Negativo 4 menos 3. Negative 7 is your other answer. Okay? We're going to have to practice a whole bunch of these to get them right. So the only thing that you need to learn how to do now is just complete the square. So again, we move this over to the other side, change the sign, divide this by 2, and square it. That gives you the number that you're going to add on both sides. And then you do what we did up here. Okay, so I want you to practice doing that with this next one, problem number 5. Pause the video and try it out. Okay, so you should have finished this. Please do not just copy it. You should have already done it, and if you haven't, you need to pause the video and try it by yourself first. Move the 27 over, change the sign. So you have x squared minus 12x equals negative 27. Take the b, which is that negative 12, divided by 2, and square it. Negative 6 squared is positive 36. So I'm going to add 36 to both sides, here and here. So I have x squared minus 12x plus 36 equals negative 27 plus 36. So do the perfect square of this one. Two numbers that multiply and give you 36 and add to give you negative 6 is going to be this middle number, the negative 6. So it's x minus 6 squared equals, what's negative 27 plus 36? Positive 9? Positive 9. And then you finish it off. Take the square root of both sides. This goes away, so it's x minus 6 equals plus or minus 3. Move the negative 6 over, change the sign. Is 6 plus or minus 3. So what's 6 plus 3? 6 más 3? 9. So x equals 9 is one of them. And what's 6 minus 3? 6 menos 3. 3. X equals positive 3. Those are your two answers. I need you to do